Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Pretty wild Monday here. A lot of stories going on. We're going to cover this one. Laura Owens of the Bachelor Clayton paternity scandal may speak tomorrow, Tuesday, according to her powerful attorney. Again, why they're saying this when she's being investigated by the county prosecutors and possibly be indicted for fraud and who the hell knows what else, I'm not sure. But we're going to dive into this. He posted this tweet right here saying Laura's opening brief is done. We're over the 14,000 word limit. Again, things that just don't matter. He loves to throw in things that don't matter. A lot of fluff there. You won't be over the 14,000 word limit if you just, get efficient. Leave no meat left on the bone there. Economy of words, as we like to call it. So he says he's tentatively doing a video with Laura. Now, if you guys are holding your breath, don't, because the odds of this happening are so small. What does it mean, tentatively doing a video with Laura? A video regarding the 14,000 word limit? Is he just going to get Laura on camera to talk about Rule 26 or whatever other sort of legal fantasies he has? Or are we actually going to discuss the meat and potatoes? How she lied to me, why she lied to me, why she lied to Mike, why she lied to Greg, why she lied to Clayton? Are we going to get into these issues? Or, like I said, are we just going to do some ball gagging with a Rule 26 or whatever the hell the rule is decision? Because we don't need a video with Laura discussing your appeal. There's nothing in the appeal that will bring new information to light. Unless she wants to get a better copy of her fake Planned Parenthood ultrasound, there's really nothing to be said. But as I've committed to, she said, Dave, you're not fairly covering me. I will cover her like the best secondary in the NFL. That's a good NFL football pun there. I will be a safety or a cornerback with lights out coverage. Dave Neal Island. I will be here covering her like sunscreen at Disneyland. I'll be there because what she says doesn't say, omits the way her eyes move, will be things that people will study. Will she talk, and will there be edits? As you guys know, I'm keen to seeing when an edit is made. I personally would die laughing if they release a video that's got boop, 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 boop edits because she can't get her story straight. And that's why she hasn't done an interview, because the only time, one time she was pressed on questions in a Zoom trial, her internet went out. And again, people have speculated that Jan pulled the old Wi-Fi crank cord and, cut the internet when the story wasn't going well. Who knows? Either way, I'm going to get into a lot about what we could expect for tomorrow. I hate to speculate on the new information I have. And again, I'm not sharing it, but new information not related to the investigation, not related to the indictment, further enrages me, will be shared at the appropriate time, further enrages me as to the lengths one may go to punish people. We're not trying to punish anybody. We're just in pursuit of the truth. We've been in pursuit the whole way. People can say what they want about us, namely people she's paying to say that, but everyone understands the motivation and the trust that I hope you guys have in me that we're going to try to get this right. You don't just trust me, you trust Reality Steve. He's been knocking it out of the park. Here's his thoughts on today's episode of his podcast regarding a possible Laura Owens video.
I mentioned in the open we might have something major coming tomorrow in the Clayton Echard-Laura Owens case.
Triplets.
Why? Because her wacky lawyer tweeted this weekend.
Wacky lawyer.
After a busy week, I set my account back to public. Security issue. I have no idea what that means. He was private. But he set it back to public for a security issue? Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah. Who has so many security issues? I've never had a security issue on Twitter.
He said, Laura's opening brief is done. We are over the 14,000 word limit. Final edits will reduce that, so should be...
Maybe his password got leaked. It was taking advantage of LO.
Ready to file next week, meaning he's going to file the appeal for Laura this week. And then he said, tentatively doing a video with Laura Tuesday to discuss. Have a nice weekend. All right. I'll just say right off the bat, that's probably a 50-50 proposition that Gingras and Laura actually do a video tomorrow.
And what does a video even mean? Are you guys going to go live together? He has promised he was going to debate someone from JFC. He has promised she's going to be going to the media. She was supposed to talk to Megyn Kelly, although Megyn Kelly dropped the ball on talking to either one of them after she probably... What happened with Megyn Kelly was... The reason we went to Megyn Kelly, we tried to go to everybody. Megyn Kelly's a nut, but she'll be fair when given sort of a he said, she said. She'll be fair. I think she's not fair with other, she's a nut. But with that said, I teased that Clayton was going to go on Megyn Kelly, which was true. Laura contacted Megyn Kelly saying she wanted to share her side. And then the producer ended up getting both sides and then backed out because it was that the time when the election season was heating up and they realized it wasn't a big enough story for them to cover.
Just because this guy talks out of his ass all the time, and clearly I can't follow everything he says, and I can't believe everything he says because he has said things in the past before. It's just like, okay. And it never comes to fruition, not to mention he's just flat out lied about certain things. So we will wait in anticipation if he releases a video with
Yeah, Gingras is a DiGiorno pizza. He does not deliver.
Laura tomorrow or not. If he does, we will dissect it till the cows come home on Wednesday because that's what they want us to do. And he knows that we're all going to be doing it. The thing is, I don't even need to, I sit here and I say we're going to dissect it. I can't imagine there's anything to dissect, and there's going to be anything new that he says in this video with Laura where we're going to be like, oh, wow, great point. They've told us everything they've needed to tell us about what they thought about how the trial went, what Laura thinks of social media and the attacks that she gets. Like, nothing she says will convince anybody of anything, yet it'll be fun to laugh at. So when I say we'll dissect it, it'll be to pick it apart and point out all the inconsistencies and how many times she's contradicted herself by what she says maybe in this podcast or video tomorrow versus what she has said in the past. Because she's a liar. She's lied since May 20th of last year. The amount of lies I've lost track of. She's not credible whatsoever. But all she does is blame other people for her faults. And everybody else is wrong, and she's the one in the right, where she doesn't seem to comprehend that when you have the track record that she does, you don't get the benefit of the doubt.
True.
If someone comes forward with a sexual assault, someone comes forward with this happened to me, and we never heard of them before, and they don't have a past, you want to say, okay, immediately, they haven't lost any credibility, but let's dive into this more. Laura, your stories have been dissected over and over and over again since May of 2023. And the amount of lies and contradictions that you've had since May of 2023, it doesn't matter what you say tomorrow. I can't even believe you're doing this. You're literally under criminal investigation by the state attorney in the state of Arizona. And you're going to go and do a video with your lawyer thinking that that's going to help you?
Here's the thing. It doesn't hurt him, and that's all that matters to him. It doesn't hurt him. She's a gosh dang moron. Dave called me a gosh dang moron. If she continues to... let this guy sort of milk the teat here for his own gain because he's not going to represent her criminally. So if she says or does anything that hurts her and helps the case against her, he's not her representation. He's just dangling the ball sack on top of this appeal, which has a 10% chance of surviving. If the appeal doesn't work, he's going to find a way to attack one of the judges. He already tried to attack county prosecutor Rachel Mitchell's husband, and by attack I mean post a unbecoming article about him, which again has nothing to do with Rachel Mitchell. So there is no, this is why it's so exhausting. Nothing that is said or done will get Gingras to continue being her bitch, because that's what he is. He's her bitch. Because he's in it for himself, and whether there's money or not attached to it, he'll be in it to show future clients, hey, look, I will go to the end of the earth for you. There is no amount of character lost on my end. I've got no problem fighting these fights and helping you out. The only problem is that'll help him in the future. It ain't going to help him now, because it is a landslide 100 versus 0 as far as public opinion on Laura here.
You heard Rachel Juarez when she was on the podcast a couple weeks ago. It's like, speaking about the lawyer, but it's going to be the same. She would say the same thing about Laura. It can only hurt you at this point, because the appeal process has nothing to do with the case. It's not like he can say, hey, we didn't get to this in the trial, but here is this piece of evidence. No, all you're doing is appealing the judge's decision, which, as you heard Rachel Juarez say, the judge made a 19-page judgment because she pretty much knew this was going to be appealed, and she wanted it all out there, line by line, and
she did a great job. So you can go listen to the rest of Reality Steve's podcast. He absolutely nails it. And I mean, what else is there to say? It was hilarious. It's hilarious hearing other professional lawyers discuss how much her attorney botched their hearing, right? They had a 2-hour hearing, and they wasted time going through Laura's sob story, that when it came down to it, there was no time to cross-examine Clayton. I mean, not that he would have done a bad job, and they might say, well, they didn't want to cross-examine him because he's so dang credible. Well, why is he credible? Because he's telling the truth. All right, so Justice for Clayton official absolutely nails it. Every day they come together and share moments from the trial. You can tell it was summer because I had my nice linen shirt on. But here's Mike Maricini, one of Laura's victims, discussing how Laura's sister may be complicit. Laura's sister lives in New York City, which, by the way, tomorrow night I've got a stand-up show. Laura's sister, you're invited. You can pay a ticket. I'm not going to give you the discount code. But if you want to come to my stand-up show, 10 p.m., bring your husband, bring all your friends from Barry's Boot Camp. 10 p.m. at the Stand. I'll be performing a stand-up set along with some, I think it's like a dating advice show. So if you enjoy dating in New York, or, come to that show, 10 p.m., tomorrow night, Tuesday. All right. And by the way, I guarantee you, let me tell you this. I had some folks come to my show Friday and Saturday night. You come to my shows, we talk about this case after. It's so funny seeing people from all over the country want to discuss this. I don't mean funny in the sense that, like, I wish this never happened, but at the same time, it just goes to show that there's more conversation to be had.
Family does Laura's sister play, and do you believe that she's complicit as well?
Yeah, I've seen this online. I don't know why people think she's innocent in this whole matter. She's 100% involved with the stuff. And maybe she's distanced herself in the recent years. I don't know. But back then, no, she was 100% complicit and would enable it to happen. She would message me asking me to help Laura out, to listen to her, not to the point like of her parents where her dad's asking me to say and do anything and he'll get me out of the relationship. But her sister was definitely complicit and enabled Laura. So there was many times in which she could have stepped in and helped out. Even if you live on the East Coast.
This is on double speed, but what he's saying is that Laura's dad was the one who said, do whatever you need to do to make this work, and I'll help you out after, which again, all it ended up was getting Mike a long-term restraining order. When it comes to Laura's sister, again, this is back in 2016. She might have had a change of heart. She might have not understood how deep or how serious this is. Who knows? But the question is, do you think Laura's sister is a monster? I don't know. She could become the hero that comes in and finally helps her sister out by exposing her so that she can get all the help she deserves. I don't see that happening anytime soon. It seems as though there's a lot of pride within this family. So anyway, let me turn the music down here. But the troll job by Justice for Clayton official is insane. So apparently Laura had an Uber case. And they just share it here. So again, go follow Justice for Clayton official on Instagram. They're just resharing all of the specifics, which is so good because I understand. I make long form content. I understand not everyone can follow everything I do. But she said she had debilitating injuries from an Uber accident, which occurred on April 6, 2017, and then competed in a horse jumping race just 6 days later. Boy, real bad debilitating injury for you to then compete 6 days later. And so anyway, they're saying, hey, they wish that Uber would relook into this, but there's no way. The amount Uber paid Laura isn't public, though Laura has said that she made out well. I heard that Laura gets unlimited Ubers. I don't know if that's true. So anyhow, they say, should Uber investigate Laura's medical records? Yes, but will they? I doubt that'll happen. But good work by Justice for Clayton official. I already missed it, but earlier, a few days ago, they posted all of the times in which Laura's attorney said that they were going to have Laura talk, and it led to nothing. So again, when I in the early stages of Gingras being involved, my lawyer was talking to her lawyer, Gingras, and said, look, if you want to get her on our show, do it. At that point, it wasn't about making any money. It was like, look, don't complain about us not sharing your side of the story when you refuse to share your side of the story. And of course, we know why, because we would cross-examine the hell out of all of the things. Like, at least in the courtroom, they have a scope that they have to keep it keep it to. But for her to go ahead and say, oh, these cases have nothing in common, it's just absolutely ridiculous. What they have in common is someone exerting all efforts to use different systems to control others, whether it be CPS, whether it be the real estate board, whether it be whatever mental health conversation Clayton was supposed to have when he was getting canceled. I mean, it's one thing after another. If I had a boss she could come after, she most definitely already would have, because she tried to come after the ultimate boss, which was my freedom of speech, which luckily we live in a country where that has held up so far. And I continue to think it will hold up, even if it costs a heck of a lot of money. Freedom of speech can be costly, as we've had to raise money, thanks to you guys, to defend ourselves and fight fire with fire. And people said, in the past, oh, Dave, what do you have to defend yourself for? They dropped the charge. They dropped the, they struck down the restraining order she tried to get on me. Well, part of that is getting a lawyer, lawyering up so that when she was going to sue me for an injunction against harassment, I was prepared. And of course, that's how it worked. I was prepared, and because of that, she dropped it. But you have to meet bullies where they are. You have to rise up and meet them where they are, and we'll continue to do that. And we know Clayton will now. And it was great to see Mike Maricini speaking, because for years he sort of, I don't want to say coward. He did what he had to do, which was go away. He had no platform. This story wasn't public, and because of Clayton's story last year gaining a little bit of attention, because of us and because of you, his story will be told. And trust me, there is more to come from Mike, Greg, and Clayton. Hang on those words. We will be buckled up when we discuss what comes next. I can guarantee you that. As far as investigations go, no new updates. Rachel Mitchell just won her election as county prosecutor, so she will continue doing what she does. She was voted in with a resounding yes. They like what she does for law and order as the top lawyer in the county, and she, with her investigators, are looking into Laura. At this point, it's my opinion, they are tightening up their case. They are making sure their T's are crossed and their I's are dotted, and they will come after her. Does that mean there'll be a warrant to search her house? I have no idea. I have no idea what's next. I have no idea how much they know or how much they've found. Unfortunately, they haven't asked me for anything, but I would point them in the direction of the websites that she used to fake black men to come after Clayton. I would point towards the lack of any evidence whatsoever that she went to these medical places, Planned Parenthood and whatnot. I'm sure they have. I'm sure if you're Planned Parenthood and you get a call from county prosecutors, I'm sure you respond very quickly, probably quicker than, Greg Woodnick calling, because when it's a family law thing, I'm sure it's not top priority, but when the county prosecutors are knocking, you're answering the door. We're here to cover all of that. We'll see what happens tomorrow. The only thing I can guarantee to you is that I've got a show tomorrow night in New York. Tickets are on sale. You can get them on my Instagram. We'll see you then. Have a good one, everybody. Any updates, if they come in, we'll have them on the Afternoon Rush.